North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said to have hinted at new talks with the West, but the White House simply says, we'll see. Bloomberg editor Roz Krasny is following all of this and the latest developments in Washington. Roz, does this represent at all a slight thaw in relations, or could it just be a slight head fake here?
Could it be just Olympic fever,
Yes.
getting to Kim Jong-un? And we know that the Olympics make everybody happy, so maybe that's what this is about. But no, Heidi and Betty, some analysts think that this really could be one of the biggest overtures by Kim and North Korea really in years in terms of reaching out to the U.S. or reaching out to the U.S. and South Korea looking for better relations. But that optimism comes with a tremendous amount of caveats about, whether Kim would put preconditions on talks and how the U.S. would respond. And as you said, the U.S. kind of said, we'll see, we'll wait and see, and stressed in a statement today from the White House press secretary that denuclearization remains the primary goal of the U.S. And, we do fear that, or we do think that the U.S. may not pursue talks with North Korea unless that was a precondition for them. So a lot still to be done. Some also feel like South Korea's Blue House really wanted to put a very positive spin on the Olympics and on diplomacy and make it look very good for President Moon, who spoke to some North Korean officials for about an hour overnight. So that's their spin. And then you've got the White House, maybe not quite as optimistic as the Blue House. So I think we need to wait and see. A big inflection point comes after the Paralympic Games in the middle of March, because at that point or soon after that, South Korea and the U.S. Are expected to have some joint military exercises, and that could really get under North Korea's skin, and they may retaliate with another missile launch, missile test, or something of that kind.
And what is the latest then? Okay, so that's North Korea, but what about the latest, Roz, on gun control, on the gun control measures? Congress may debate it this week.
Yeah, Congress is coming back this week, and there's a lot of pressure for them to act, sort of externally pressure from the public and survivors of this latest mass shooting in Florida. But our assessment really from sifting through comments by Democrats, Republicans, and even the White House over the past few days is that positions are still pretty hardened on gun control. Certainly the National Rifle Association, the very influential lobbying group on behalf of gun owners, don't want to see major changes to access to guns or background checks. Maybe they support some background check measures. So we haven't really heard from two of the men who really drive the debate in Congress, which is Senator Mitch McConnell and House Leader Paul Ryan, about what they want, whether they would allow a vote on certain legislative measures that are around. But, it's such a divisive issue across partisan lines that it's possible that not much will get done. One thing to remember, though, is that current polling shows that more and more Americans want to see some action, whether it's on background checks or restrictions of some armaments to some members of the public. So at some point it becomes an electoral issue, and if Republicans feel like they're on the wrong side of the public on this, they may be more inclined to bend a little bit.
And Roz, just remind us where we're at with the Mueller investigation. It seems the charges are piling up. There's more pressure on witnesses, and there's been another memo that's been released.
Yes, the long-awaited Democratic rebuttal to the Republican memo came out yesterday. As you remember, 2 weeks ago, President Trump put the kibosh on the release of the memo for national security reasons. So the version we saw yesterday, I think I counted something like 33 redactions in a 10-page memo. So there was a lot that wasn't shown. But, I mean, the whole thing could have been redacted. So, we did get to learn a lot. And Democrats, Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Panel, would would certainly say that this shows no wrongdoing or bias by the FBI, by the Justice Department. And based on what we saw on Friday, where new charges were brought in the Mueller probe, I think that's still rolling on. And we don't know what the next shoe to fall will be, but I think with the two competing memos now out, we'll see Special Counsel Robert Mueller just keep pressing along.